Microjig, maker of the gripper. Work safer, work smarter.
Be sure to check out my Amazon affiliate store, where you'll find a lot of the tools that I use in my shop. You'll also find a brief description of the tool and what I think of it. You'll find a link to my Amazon store in the description of the video. For the two uprights on either side of the feeder, I need to glue together two boards in order to get the width that I need. Now, because this project is going to be for outdoors, I need to use a glue that can withstand being out in the weather. And for that, I'm going to use a polyurethane-based glue, and this one is by Grizzly Glue. Now, if you'd like to learn more about Grizzly Glue, you'll find a link in the description of this video. I attached both side blanks with some double stick tape, and then I attached a template of the side with some spray adhesive. And I think the best way to cut these angles out is going to be at the bandsaw, and I'll cut close to the line, and I'll take it the rest of the way to the line using the disc sander. After cutting the plywood to length, I'm going to leave my positive stop in the same place, and I'm going to cut all these rails to the same length. After using that radius guide to make a nice radius on two of the rails, I'm just going to sand to the line using my sanding disc at the table saw with some adhesive-backed sandpaper. Now, usually when I show myself using this sanding disc and sandpaper, people will ask me in the comment section where I got it. Now, if you go to the video description below, you'll see a link to my Amazon affiliate store, and you'll see links to both the disc and the adhesive-backed sandpaper that I use. Now I need to make a bevel cut on each roof half so that they can come together nicely at the crest of the roof. Now, in order to get that correct angle, I took it directly from my CAD file, and I set my table saw blade to that angle using my table saw aligner junior, which is simply a dial indicator jig. Now, if you don't have one of these, you could possibly set your table saw blade to the correct angle using one of those digital angle gauges where they usually have magnets on the side, and you put it up against the side of your blade. And if you don't have one of those, you could just set the blade to the correct angle by using the graduation marks on the front of your table saw blade and just get it as close as possible. And then with scrap wood, make a few test cuts and make adjustments to the angle until you get a nice seam at the crest of the roof. It's time to glue the two halves of the roof together, and I have one side of the two halves held together with blue tape. Now the plan is to squeeze some glue in between here and then close it together, and then apply more blue tape to the other side to sort of act as clamps. Now I'm going to use my Grizzly glue again, and like I said before, this is a waterproof glue, so it's safe to use on an outdoor project like this. Now I can tell you that one thing I really like about this glue over some of the other polyurethane based glues that I've tried is that this glue has a really low viscosity, so it's much easier to spread. So I didn't have to finish waiting for the glue to finish drying so I could continue to work on the feeder. I went ahead and shot 2 nails through the side rail into the upright. So I had 2 nails going through on each side holding up the uprights. And while I had the nail gun out, I went ahead and shot 2 nails through the side rails into the front and also 2 into the back rail. Because I made the kerf cuts on the upright go end to end on each side to hold the plexiglass, the plexiglass when it goes in will go all the way down to the bottom or the floor of the feeder, and there's no room for the bird seed to come out. So the idea is to put these little spacers towards the bottom in the kerf to lift the plexiglass off of the floor of the bird feeder to allow room for the seed to come out. So I cut out 4 of these guys, and I'll just glue them into the bottom of each kerf. I attached the chain to the dowels by using a screw right through one of the links into the dowel. I also filled all of the nail holes with putty, and then I sanded everything down with 220 grit sandpaper. And this will get no finish, and it's just going to go outside just as it is.